Deshaun Watson, according to court documents, the civil cases being leveled against the Browns quarterback will not go to trial during the upcoming season.
That's right. We have team coverage of all of this for you tonight. Brandon Simmons has the latest developments on amendments that some of the women have made to their lawsuits.
But we start things off with sports anchor Nick Camino. Nick, good afternoon to you. What this means for any possible punishments for Watson is still very unclear, right?
Yeah, good evening, Jay. I mean, this is something that I think we're just going to have to get used to, these new developments. I know Browns fans have been wondering, is this going to go away? No, it's not going to go away. This is the latest. This is what we know when it comes to new Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. According to court records, none of the 22 civil lawsuits against Deshaun Watson will go to trial during the NFL season. Now, an attorney in the case is reportedly hoping to take at least one of the cases to a judge and jury before the season starts, but both sides have agreed, this is key here, they have agreed that no trials will be scheduled between August 1st and March 1st of 2023. One of the lead attorneys representing the women said he hopes to get a trial set for July. If that doesn't happen, the hope is to have all 22 cases ready for trial in March 2023. Watson has said he doesn't plan to settle. We have reached out to the Browns for comment. They have not responded at this time. So, Jay, a lot of this is still fresh. A lot of this is still new. And again, this is the developments that we're just going to have to continue to follow, maybe into, as we said, March of 2023.
Yeah, we really have no idea when any of this is going to happen from a time frame standpoint. Nick, the one thing I think that it's very important to drive home here is if the league at any time concludes its investigation into the matter and they feel comfortable that they have an accurate account of what happened, and they decide Watson's conduct was unbecoming of an NFL player, they can still at any time issue a suspension, regardless of where these cases are in the legal system, right?
100%. I mean, it's almost like there's two avenues here. You've got the legal system, and now you've got the NFL that is conducting their own investigation, and they could come down with a suspension. We don't know the length of what that will be. They could say, we're going to wait on a suspension until the court cases are finalized, until there's a settlement, or until there's a verdict on all of this. So, again, it's developing. It's very fluid, but we'll see. Yeah, I think that's a great point that you bring up. There's two pathways here. Obviously, you've got the legal department, and then you've got the NFL that's conducting their own investigation.
It is the great unknown moving forward. Nick Camino, thanks. We appreciate it. Bets?
Our team coverage continues with Brandon Simmons now, who learned that two of the women suing the Browns QB amended their lawsuits to add additional claims of negligence, saying that Watson knew about his sexual urges involving massage sessions, but he didn't do anything to stop seeking out the sessions. Brandon Simmons joins us now to explain what it means legally. And Brandon, on the surface, it sounds like they're doubling down.
Yeah, definitely doubling down. Not only are these claims not going away, it seems as if more and more keep getting piled on. Now, these latest claims were first reported by USA Today Sports, and the new claims don't help Watson legally. Now, Deshaun Watson is still facing those civil suits despite two separate grand juries deciding not to indict him criminally. Now, with these new claims of negligence and gross negligence, attorneys for the 22 women accusing Watson are able to ask for more evidence through a process called discovery, which happens before trial. Now, it also allows them to seek more compensation for his wrongdoing. Now, this comes just days after a judge also decided Watson must disclose whether he had sexual relations with 18 additional massage therapists who came out in support of him originally. Now, altogether, none of it helps Watson's case.
This is definitely not a good step for Mr. Watson. He certainly does not want to have to open the air with every encounter he's had with these 18 women who have came out in support of him.
Now, as we've reported before, Watson has 30 days to comply with that judge's order, and it would seem these new claims go hand in hand as the accusers attempt to get Watson to disclose more and more about what happened in those massage sessions over the years. Now, as we know, Watson has maintained his innocence and says he wants to clear his name, but civil suits tend to take years in the courts, so we'll probably continue to hear about this through the majority of Watson's contract with the Browns, Betsy.
And again, that contract, $230 million, is guaranteed no matter what happens.
All his.
All right, Brandon, thank you.
Dom's life, a hero, a servant, a loyal man, will be defined by the way that he loved others.
Today we are honoring fallen Bluffton police officer Dominic Francis. Officer Francis was hit and killed last week. Authorities say he was putting out stop sticks to stop a speeding driver during a chase when that man hit and killed him.
3 News reporter Marissa Saenz was there today as thousands paid their respects to the fallen officer.
Carried to his final resting place, honored and saluted by first responders from near and far. Officer Dominic Francis, only 42, a Bluffton police officer killed in the line of duty. Lining the procession route, students who knew him in a community that stands beside him.
He carried the weight of the badge to the fullest extent.
Moments before, a memorial service that packed a full room. First responders of every rank and agency from across the state coming to pay their respects. Final goodbyes made by the Bluffton police chief.
When the alarm sounded, he didn't hesitate. He is so very much missed by all. He impacted so many lives in so many ways.
And colleagues that called him family, recognizing him as a man that could do it all.
Dominic the Peacemaker was an outstanding firefighter and first responder. He built many friendships and bonds with our deputies on the road, many countless hours of ride-alongs, and they all have memories to share.
He was a father, a friend, a brother, and by multiple people's words, a brother from another mother.
Francis's life was taken last Thursday during a pursuit on I-75 while attempting to deploy stop sticks. His heroism earning him a Medal of Honor and Purple Heart. Students at Bluffton University that saw him just the day before, remembering him and his lighthearted humor.
The fire alarms went off Wednesday night. He came and he was holding the door for us and cracking jokes because someone burnt grilled cheese. And he was like, "Your mom can't cook for you forever. You got to learn to cook on your own." Yeah. And then we saw Thursday morning that he had been killed.
The message from everyone today, his life was taken too soon, but will never be forgotten.
But what it lacks in length, it makes up for in substance. His last act was heroic, but that is not what made him a hero.
What you see at this makeshift memorial is much of what you see around Bluffton. Officer Francis was laid to rest at the Clymer Cemetery, which is just a few miles away from where those funeral services happened. We're reporting in Bluffton. Marissa Saenz, 3 News.
Marissa, thank you. We have new developments on Will Smith's future with the Oscars. The Academy's Board of Governors decided late this afternoon to ban Smith from the Oscar Awards and other Academy events for the next 10 years. This is all, of course, stemming from Smith slapping Chris Rock on stage during the awards show a few weeks ago. Rock had made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada, for having no hair. Jada has alopecia, which causes hair loss, a condition she's been very public about in terms of her struggles with that. The Academy said in a statement that Smith's actions were unacceptable and harmful. Smith resigned from the Academy on April 1st. Today, he released a statement saying, quote, "I accept and respect the Academy's decision."
I was not surprised to hear that.
I wasn't either.
I was surprised to hear 10 years, but
yeah.
I was not surprised to hear that he's banned from the ceremony.
I think the Academy had decided that they had to come down hard on this.
Right.
Otherwise, it almost appears as if they're condoning it.
Yes.
And 10 years is a long time. But Will had said when he stepped down from the Academy that he was going to accept the decision regardless of what it was. And he quickly released a statement saying that he does just that. 10 years is a long time, but I think it's appropriate when you consider what he did and the outrage that we saw from it.
He does get to keep his Oscar.
He will keep the award.
That's not been part of that.
Yep. Okay.
Up next for us, everybody, what Cedar Point is saying about what's next for that area where Wicked Twister once stood.
Then it is Fashion Friday. Our style contributor shows us what's new in workout gear and accessories.
And it's Friday. Jason's off. Peyton's in. So, Patty, what is coming up in the forecast?
Well, if you mean the tease to fashion, you probably were wearing absolutely everything today. You needed the umbrella, but some of us also probably broke out a jacket today and maybe even a winter accessory or two. Over the next couple of hours, things are going to remain kind of unsettled. A spotty shower here and there. We start to improve overnight, but we've got another round of something to talk about tomorrow. And for the days to come, all that and a little bit more just after the break.
Well, welcome back to What's New. Cedar Point hasn't actually confirmed yet what's going to take the place of Wicked Twister and where it stood. We're all anxiously awaiting what they're going to do there. I'm sure that they will announce it in due time, and they'll do it creatively, as they tend to do with these kind of announcements.
They always do, certainly. And, you know, this amusement park did reveal to 3 News that guests will be able to see, quote, a few changes to the boardwalk as the season moves along.
The ride was completely removed back in early February, and you may remember that they chopped up sections of the track into 1,000 pieces, and they sold them as souvenirs for $215 a piece. And by the way, it didn't take long for them to sell them out.
That's right.
They sold them out in no time.
That was one of my favorite rides there.
I remember you had said that before.
Not just because the whole weather side of things.
So I spent a lot of time on the beach side with our boat, and I've heard the screams of that ride for years. And it's going to be weird being just offshore because that was on the beach side of the park, very close to the shore. It's going to be weird not hearing the screams from that ride because it's really been the soundtrack of the summer for all the beachgoers and anybody that's boating on that side of the lake.
I was trying to remember what was there before Wicked Twister, because you remember, like, you would come into the park and like the pirate ride is still there, which is always a super fun warm-up ride.
Yeah.
But they had the demon drop out there too.
The demon drop was closer to the parking lot.
So it was where Gatekeeper like swings through now.
Yes, exactly. And before that, there was a ride there called Jumbo Jet.
Wow.
That's how old I am.
You know what was there is the one that they put indoors. What was the indoor one?
Yes, Avalanche Run. Didn't last long.
No, and then they did one with the robots. And that.
I think they may have turned Jumbo Jet into Avalanche Run.
And then it became the robot one.
Yes.
I kept trying to, Disaster Transport. Yes,
and you know what was right near there was the Space Needle. And
that's
right. Now that's gone. It's funny to watch how the skyline of Cedar Point has changed through the years.
And now everybody's like, oh, there's that beach there that's pretty sweet real estate.
The beach is awesome. That will never change.
Disaster Transport.
Yeah, now that goes back a ways.
That does.
That goes back a ways.
All right, Peyton, let's go forward. We've got a lot to talk about in this forecast. Folks have some weekend plans they're trying to get together.
Folks do. And speaking of roller coasters, we're kind of at like the bottom of the roller coaster. We will go up next week. I have no idea any of the names you two were tossing out when it comes to those roller coasters because I have never been to Cedar Point.
Oh, you will. You'll go and you'll learn them.
Stand by.
I will. I will need a lot of Dramamine, though. Motion sickness is bad.
Okay, you can ride behind us.
Okay.
Yeah,
or not at all. I'll watch.
Not right in front of us.
Well, we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled to the radar. And something else today. I kind of will give you some good news before we really dive into the forecast. Later sunsets are upon us. Tonight is the first 8 p.m. sunset since late August here in Cleveland. That's 220 days if you want to do some quick math there. So enjoy this. They're only going to get later as we go through summer. And something that's not going to go up any longer are going to be our temperatures. They're going to continue to slide down as we head just through the next 12 hours or so. Those spotty off and on showers will start to die on down as well as we just simply head over the next couple of hours as we lose some of that daytime heating, even though we really didn't heat up all too much today. We keep the cloud cover basically overnight, and then we add the idea of seeing a few snowflakes added to the mix come early tomorrow morning and then through a decent chunk of our Saturday at least. So live look at radar right now. You can see not everyone is seeing some of this pop-up activity. It is very rinse and repeat of what we saw yesterday today. So if you didn't like yesterday, you're probably not a fan of today. And unfortunately, you will probably not be a fan of tomorrow either. And the idea, once again, of adding a few flakes is possible because things are only going to get colder. Yes, I said colder, not by a whole lot, but tomorrow will be chillier than things were today. And you can see this big picture here. This is the same system that has been pestering us for the past several days. It's going to do the same deal tomorrow as it continues to make its way a little bit farther to the east. And I want to turn on our temperatures here. You can see kind of the gradient and change of color here as well. And it just depicts how cold some of this area that is surging into place and already in place. The Chicagoland area is in the upper 30s. For us, we're still in the 40s, but things will once again slide overnight. And then tomorrow, we're only going to top in the low to mid 40s. So yes, it will be a chilly one. And folks, even through the deep south, are dealing with this chilly factor. They are not happy about this whatsoever. I know we could be in a better situation as well. We will get there, though, as we head through this upcoming work week. This weekend, though, things are going to stay chilly, but warmer air does return soon. soon. We just have to wait until we hit at least Monday to really start to see that. And your National Zymark hour-by-hour forecast, that on and off kind of bubbling activity when it comes to seeing some of that green on your screen. Some of you even picked up some grapple again today. Some of you saw it yesterday, some of you didn't. There's definitely some dry time. This was never going to be a washout scenario. As we just take you through the evening here, things start to clear when it comes to the rain showers. We keep the idea of the clouds around. They'll stick with us tomorrow morning, and check it out. Temperatures are a tad bit cooler tomorrow morning, and we start to try to mix in some flakes. Now you're probably wondering, Peyton, will there be accumulation with this? No, slim to none is going to be the thing here. It is going to be brief at best. It's going to get on out of here, but we do keep the idea of lingering flurries, at least on the east side of things, kind of right around parts of the snow belt for early Sunday morning, but once again, not really going to pose a threat. We will see some additional sunshine, though, to the mix come Sunday. So something to smile about. You always have to find the silver lining. The silver lining here, for me personally, in this Union Home Mortgage extended forecast is getting out of the 40s past the weekend into the 60s for Monday, and check it out, 74 degrees on Wednesday, and that opening day for us, it's looking pretty snazzy here. You're going to need the sunglasses if you're headed out. Upper 50s, though, and maybe an isolated sprinkle or two in the mix, guys.
All right, again, it's an evening start, so the chances are temperatures are going to start to slide a little bit during the game, too.
Especially close to the
we're
lake.
watching very closely, I promise.
Yes.
It was weird. Today, we were shooting our latest DIY project, and the grapple started to come down.
Yeah.
And I looked out the shed window, and
you were out in the man shed today.
I was. The entire backyard, Bets, was covered in grapple. I couldn't see any grass.
Yeah.
It was all white dipping dots.
That's it.
And in the middle of the project, I looked at the camera and I said, Matt Wintz, you called it. You said we were going to get vanilla dipping dots, and here they are.
And you can get the other flavors on Friday, Jay.
I hope so. I keep asking him, when do we get strawberry grapple?
Yeah.
Stay away from the lemon. Trust me. Stay away from the lemon. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Up next for us, the workout clothes that will help get you motivated. Boy, these better be some pretty darn good clothes, because I need a lot of motivation. Our style contributor has the scoop on the latest trends.
Also, it's a rough life for dogs when it rains outside. And one dog owner, it describes the scene perfectly. It's our Worth the Watch, and it's coming up.
Alrighty, it is Fashion Friday, and spring is going to be all about color. We recently met up with our 3 News style contributor, Hallie Abrams, to talk about how bright and bold choices are even taking over athleisure wear.
We are talking about dopamine dressing and how adding the little happy hormone by adding color to your wardrobe can really affect your life. We're seeing it everywhere. We are seeing it in formal business wear, but we're also seeing it in athletic wear. And I think it's a great way to motivate to get up and move your body. It's not just about black leggings and a black tank top anymore. I love the play of colors here that we're doing with Trisha. It is a bold tank top that is, I think has a built-in bra. And then a high-waisted athletic short that again has the color blocking built in, and a topper that sort of plays along those lines.
Wow, I was just watching him, trying to put it all together. Hallie also says that accessories are the easiest way to dip your toe into the dopamine dressing trend, if you will. Bright bags and shoes can be inexpensive, and they're smaller scale, so it's a great way to get to try out bold color. Now, Hallie will have even more spring style tips coming up later this evening on Front Row Friday with Sarah and Mike.
All right.
I know that that's what you take into consideration when you get ready to work out.
I got to tell you, I never think about fashion.
Your color blocking?
Yeah, I mean, in my color block. Yeah, when I work out, it's a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
It's usually shorts or sweats, depending on how much I want to sweat. And I rarely think of the color, and it's never pink.
For me, it's amazing, number one, if I even have athleisure wear on and there's any happening rather than leisure.
Yeah,
usually.
So for you, it's all for just fashion.
It's comfort.
Yeah.
And if it does match, it's always usually black and black. So this whole color trend and all that is kind of new. But the high-waisted shorts, I'm here for it.
You're down for that? Okay, yeah, that's an interesting trend. It's not just in athleisure wear, but I see it all over.
High-waisted shorts?
Yeah, well, high-waisted everything. The young ladies are wearing it.
You should try it.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to happen for me. Do you? I haven't seen you rocking the high-waisted anything.
I do rock high-waisted.
You do? Yeah, some of your jumpsuits seem to be high-waisted.
That's because I'm long-waisted, so everything is
so everything is. How about me noticing
Nothing
that, though,
fits.
right?
I'm very impressed. Well played. Thanks,
I pay
friend.
attention, Bets. I pay attention. Peyton's looking at me
Our
right now like,
producer's
what
dying
did Crawford
laughing.
just say?
She's like, I have no idea what's happening right now.
Yeah, I pay attention. All right, if you have a dog, you know most of them just hate going out in the rain. So one TikTok user made up a song and a music video about it with the help of her dog. Watch this.
If you don't want to poop in the rain, raise your paw.
Aww.
If you don't want to poop in the rain, raise your paw. If the ground is really soggy and you don't want to go potty, if you don't want to poop in the rain, raise your paw.
Now, I have a theory, Bets.
Yeah.
My theory is that the dog wasn't getting out of that ridiculous outfit until he completed the entire task, raising the paw. So he just finally said, whatever it takes to get out of this nonsensical costume, I'll do. But just take it off me so I can not be embarrassed to go outside.
I will
you might
never
see other
forget
dogs out there.
Living in Florida, and we had tropical storm, one of them coming through, and we had a dog at the time.
Right.
And taking that poor dog out to go potty.
Yeah, they
in
don't
a
like it.
tropical storm, and she's just there. We have a little raincoat for her, and she's just standing there like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing.
What is going on out
I'm
here
going to go
right
in
now?
the kitchen like I normally do.
Yeah, funny.
Great.
Well, he looks good, but he looks ridiculous. I think Hallie would be impressed because that's
Color blocking.
That is color blocked well,
played.
and what is it? The endorphins are just flowing right now.
Dopamine dressing.
Dopamine. It's really flowing in that dog. All right, coming up at the second half hour of What's New, have you ever heard of an animal called a kinkajou? Well, you're going to meet one in this week's 3 questions from the I Promise School. Look at that little thing.
And then yet another countdown has begun. This one to when the next total solar eclipse takes place, and we will not have to go far to see it.
Then our first looks are back. Kiara Cotton takes us inside a new coffee shop that has a unique concept.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Let's get you caught up on 3 things you need to know now at 5:30. Today, thousands of people traveled to Bluffton to pay their respects to fallen officer Dominic Francis. Students who knew him and a community that stood beside him lined the procession route. Colleagues called him family recognized him as a man that could do it all.
Dominic the Peacemaker was an outstanding firefighter and first responder.
But he was a father, a friend, a brother.
The 42-year-old was killed last Thursday during a pursuit on I-75 while attempting to deploy stop sticks during a high-speed chase. 3 men have been arrested in connection to his death.
Betsy, we have an update now on the Deshaun Watson situation. According to court documents, the 22 civil cases against the Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson will be paused during the upcoming season. So barring settlements between Watson and his accusers, there will be no judgments in the cases until after the 2022 season has concluded. On one hand, that may pave the way for Watson to play the entire season, but it needs to be pointed out, if the NFL concludes its own investigation into the Watson matter and they feel comfortable enough with their findings, Commissioner Roger Goodell could issue a suspension or clear him at any time.
Also happening today, the next Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, spoke for the first time since the Senate confirmed her to the Supreme Court. Judge Jackson is now stepping into the role of role model, reflected in her daughters and her own history.
In my family, it took just 1 generation to go from segregation to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Of the past 115 justices, only 5 have been women and just 3 have been people of color. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson will be sworn in after Justice Stephen Breyer retires this summer. And with that, we welcome you back here to the second half hour of a Friday edition of What's New. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford.
And let's give you a Tiger Woods update. We told you yesterday that he was playing in the Masters,
Yes.
14 months after doctors were talking about perhaps amputating his leg from the horrible car crash. He shot a 1-under yesterday, looked great. He really struggled in round 2. He was an afternoon tee-off, windy conditions, and that meant much higher scores for the afternoon group. He started off bogeying 4 of the first 5 holes, but then he pulled it together. He got a birdie on 8, he got a birdie on 10, and then the wheels kind of fell off again. He lipped putts on 11 and 12 for birdies. So right now, Tiger sits at +3 for the tournament. That has him currently in 38th place. But here's where it really gets interesting, Bets. He is now just 1 stroke from the projected cut line to play into the weekend. So he's currently on par 5 that he usually birdies. He's going to need a birdie for a little bit of breathing room because he doesn't want to go into these last 4 holes with a 1-stroke cushion between he and the cut line.
Yeah.
So the hope is he can settle down, pull the round together. It's still a packed field. He's still 6 shots, 7 shots from the leader.
Right.
And that's striking distance for Tiger Woods. But you don't want to move much beyond that.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. It's an amazing story.
All right, let's move on now to our top talker. The countdown to totality is on for Northeast Ohio. A solar eclipse going to be passing right over Cleveland 2 years from today.
Can't wait. 3 News reporter Neil Fisher went to the Great Lakes Science Center to learn more about what's to come.
In 2 years, a solar eclipse is scheduled to bring complete darkness during the day. Jean-Dar Bradshaw from the Great Lakes Science Center explains why Cleveland will be one of the best places to witness the eclipse.
This eclipse will occur when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun. Because we're right in the middle of totality, we're going to actually be able to see this eclipse for a period of almost 4 minutes. It's going to be incredible.
The last time a solar eclipse of the sun was visible in the United States was 2017, and Bradshaw had a telescope to take in the experience.
We were able to watch as the moon began to eclipse the solar disk. And as we were there, we could feel the temperature begin to change. You could hear the crickets starting to chirp because they think that the sun is setting. They think it's going to be night.
During the time in which the moon starts to block the sun, you must wear special glasses to see it happen. But when totality hits, Bradshaw says everyone can be a witness.
Now, during the period of totality, when the moon actually completely blocks out the sun, then you can remove those glasses and you'll see this amazing sight.
The path of totality will begin covering land in Mexico, continue northeast through Texas and the Midwest, through Cleveland and on to Canada.
2024, it's not too early to begin making those vacation plans. This will be the place to come and see this amazing event.
And right now, NASA predicts that totality will hit Cleveland just after 3 o'clock on April 8th of 2024.
Oh,
so
all right.
Very cool.
I'm going to put that in my phone.
You do.
I don't want that to sneak up on me.
It will.
Neil, you were in St. Louis when we had the last one just a couple of years ago. What was that like?
2017, family drove down to Festus, Missouri, and saw it. We were right in the direct path, which Cleveland is going to be in as well. And Betsy, I know you were in Missouri as well, right?
I was just a little bit west in Jeff City.
Okay.
I was actually in Jeff City with our NASA Glenn folks who were doing outreach there in their state capital of Missouri. I stood alongside Dr. Janet Cavandi, who was the center director at NASA at the time, 3-time astronaut. And I got to nerd out with an astronaut. I was just like, wow.
Did it ever get total darkness?
So it gets it's like twilighty. So it's like after the sun sets and it does get dark, the crickets
You did hear
chirp,
crickets.
the birds quiet, the wind settles, the temperatures come down.
It's amazing.
It really is the coolest thing. Nothing can compare to looking up and seeing once totality hits and you see the flares coming around the sun, the halo of the sun. It is
and how long does that
unbelievable. It lasted about 4 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, and they said that the one in Cleveland is going to last around 4 minutes as well. So when you take those glasses off, it is incredible what you can see.
It's creepy.
It is.
Awesome.
It is.
I can't
when
wait.
you start hearing the crickets and everything.
It's right up there with having a baby. You guys don't know that, but I'll tell you, it was that good.
I trust you.
It was like awesome.
I wanted to take this quick opportunity to introduce Neil as the newest member to our 3 News team. We're thrilled to have him. He actually is from St. Louis, and he comes to us from Washington State. We want to give you a very warm welcome.
Thank you.
You are going to absolutely love our city. I promise you that.
I appreciate that. Thank you for welcoming me. I love Cleveland so far. It's been fantastic. There's so much food and so many things to do.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah.
Wait till the summer.
We got an eclipse coming.
Yes, we do. We do.
Perfectly
It happens all
timed.
the time here.
Yeah.
This whole weather thing, trust me, it gets better.
Welcome, Neil.
Thank you.
All right, coming up for us, it's not a monkey and it's not a lemur, so what is it? A student reporter from the I Promise News team interviews an Akron Zoo ambassador to find out.
And Kira is live in Tremont with our first look at a new coffee shop that's also sparking creativity. Hi, Key.
Hi, Jay and Betsy. I am at Roasted in Tremont. They're serving up everything from tea and smoothies to snacks and coffee, but it's not your average cup of joe. They're serving up vibes all the way from Honduras. In the next half hour, I'll chat with the owner and we'll show you even more of this super cool space. But in the meantime, Peyton, how's the weather?
Well, Kia, it's pretty interesting. Today we were only in the 40s. Can we make it out of the 40s this weekend? It's going to be a stretch if we could even do that. We'll chat about this weekend, what those plans might look like, and then a warm-up. It's on the way, I promise you. Comes with a few catches, though. We'll chat about that and a little bit more just after the break.
All right, here it is, 5:41 and just about a half, and we are headed into the weekend. Peyton, we are really, really hoping that things miraculously rebound, but it doesn't look like it's going to be in time for the weekend.
No, unfortunately it's not. But I think maybe a lot of folks can jog the memory of maybe today last year. On this date, we actually set a record. I would love to know in our What's New Facebook page if folks remember this at all, because the idea of even hitting 80 degrees right now kind of is hard to fathom when you've been spending the day in the 40s. Yeah, that high record last year was clocked in at 83 degrees at Cleveland Hopkins International. And clearly we were not in the 80s today. We were in the 40s. Some of us made it into the 50s, but by the stretch of the imagination with a little breeze, things felt a little bit cooler as well, and a pop-up shower or two, some grapple, a little bit of everything. You may have had winter accessories at times. You may have had the sunglasses. Right now, we kind of stay in the 40s. We'll slide back into the 30s eventually, but it's 45 in Elyria, 44 in Ashland, 41 in Mansfield, 44 in Ashtabula, and 45 in Jefferson. And honestly, this is not something we are alone in. Everyone through the Midwest is clocked in to some of this cold air. It is just spilling in right now from parts of Canada, and it is all tied to the same exact system that'll be pestering us tomorrow and then kind of getting out of here as we head through the day on Sunday. So over the next 12 hours, those temperatures are going to drop from the 40s back into the 30s. And you can see there's an icon there. It is not fooling you. There will be a few flakes added to the mix early tomorrow morning. Right now, though, some of us dry, some of us not dry. There are some more moderate pockets of rainfall, at least maybe picking up on some grapple here through parts of Medina, Wayne, and even Ashland County at the moment. Once again, not everyone seeing it. It was never supposed to be a washout kind of day, but this entire system continuing to just slightly meander to the east, and that will impact us tomorrow. But with the cold air in place, that's why the idea of mixing in a few flakes is possible tomorrow. And then even early Sunday, we could see some flying as well. Accumulation slim to none here, but warmer air does return soon. You'll see it here in the extended forecast very shortly. National Zymer hour-by-hour forecast keeps the chances for those spotty showers for the next several hours. Cloud cover locked in overnight, and then early tomorrow morning we start to pick up on the idea of a rain and kind of snow situation too, and it won't be with us all day long. We'll start to see some relief as we head a little bit closer to that dinner timeline, 5-6 p.m. Union Home Mortgage though, 40s the next 2 days, then we start to happily rebound and putting a smile on my face. 60s, 70s in the forecast, and that home opener here in Cleveland looks to go off with any huge weather worries, at least right now. Obviously things can change, but we will keep you posted, Jay, on if anything happens to kind of switch on up on us. And heck, if you can see some Dippin' Dots that day or not.
Well, I certainly hope that it changes to the positive on Friday. I don't want that kind of weather on opening day. All right. Thank you, Peyton. Right now it's time for our fun segment called 3 Questions. It's from the I Promise School. And today we hear from one of our student reporters at Akron who invited a guest from the Akron Zoo along with Chloe, the kinkajou, into their colleague media lab. Take a look.
Hello, my name is Nevaeh Jordan. I'm a 7th grader at the I Promise School at Akron. Today's guest is Jen Clark, an animal ambassador and keeper at the Akron Zoo. Hello, Jen.
Hello.
What does an animal ambassador do?
So our animal ambassadors are special teachers for the zoo because they're specially trained to go out into our community, teach people about animals. And it's our hope that when you have an opportunity to meet an animal like our kinkajou, Chloe, you will form a connection with her and therefore be inspired to make those conservation actions that are going to save animals like Chloe from extinction.
Please share 3 fun facts about the animal you brought today.
So people look at her and they think, what is she? She's not a monkey. She's not a lemur. She's actually most closely related to a raccoon. They're found in South America. They have 5 feet for climbing. I know you're seeing 4, but the 5th one is actually this really long tail that she can use just like a 5th arm to hold on because it's prehensile. She also has a really long tongue, I'm talking 5 to 6 inches, that she can stick down into a beehive and lap up that honey because that's her favorite treat.
How did COVID affect the zoo and animals?
During COVID lockdown, the keepers, the people that care for the animals, we were there and we were still giving them everything they're used to. Clean home, all the food that they need, the enrichment, the training. But the one thing we couldn't give them is all of you, our community. And so the animals definitely took notice, and we noticed some animals weren't as active as they normally are. Our female grizzly bear, she wasn't in her pool as much. So it was a great day when we could welcome all of you back into the zoo.
Thank you for appearing on 3 Questions from the I Promise School. I'm Nevaeh Jordan from the I Promise News team.
Way to go, Nevaeh. Wow. Well, we also want to thank all of you. Thanks to our viewers, we recruited 276 mentors last month during our Mentor Monday campaign. Our goal was 275, so thanks for the +1. This initiative is a partnership between WKYC Studios, College Now, and Say Yes Cleveland. Mentors are paired with local high school seniors who are receiving scholarships from College Now and or Say Yes Cleveland to help guide them during their college experience. Now, even though we've met our goal, you can still sign up to be a mentor at College Now at collegenowgc.org. Such a great organization.
Life-changing. Next, Kiara Cotton is live in Tremont with our first look inside a unique coffee shop that also has delicious smoothies and a creative space for locals.
Ooh, and then young kids are using art to support Ukrainians. We'll share their story ahead in our Show Us Something Good.
Try it again. Just a 10 from 1.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
She's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Technical difficulty on that.
You know, before the pandemic started, we would give you first looks inside new businesses across Northeast Ohio. And now that the pandemic seems to be going to endemic, cases are on the low end of things right now, we're going to bring it back.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the name of the show is What's New, and that's what this segment is all about. We like to show you around town and give you a glimpse of what's new. And on that note, Kiara Cotton kicks things off with a new coffee shop that's also a creative space in Tremont. Hi, Key.
Hi, Jay and Betsy. I am super excited to be back out and about in the community, showing off these super cool places right here in Northeast Ohio. Today's featured location is Roasted in Tremont. And, you know, it's a coffee shop, but they are offering so much more. I'm going to be joined today by the owner, Sophia Syed. Sophia, hi. First and foremost, congratulations on your grand opening.
Thank you.
Roasted is your baby. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, today marks 2 weeks we've been open. But Roasted is essentially just coffee, tea, smoothies, and then I have a big art background, so we also offer DIY projects. You can paint your own coffee mugs and coasters, and then we also do books and board games because we want a community feel. We want people to hang out. We've partnered with different people out here so we can have different art workshops and different ways we can further just like learning and education. And then we're working on having comedy and live events, and that's like our stage area.
And you've got some drinks here that you've made for us. Tell me what we've got here.
Yeah, so we are featuring our lavender vanilla. So I made a lavender vanilla with fresh lavender and oat milk. And then also, so I am half Indian, my dad is from Hyderabad, and we actually make our chai masala fresh every day. So we don't use a concentrate, so this is our chai masala, and we make two versions, whole and oat, so this is the oat version. So we just like to be traditional to the Indian culture, and that's what these two drinks are.
Yeah, that's awesome and amazing. And we have this beautiful mural here behind us. Can you tell me about the artwork? And I mean, the space itself is beautiful, but tell me how you did that.
Yeah, so the mural specifically is the life cycle of coffee. So if you can see like the flower, the cherries, the beans, and it just showcases in an abstract way just the life of coffee. And it was made by a very talented artist named Athleisure, which is the pastimes. And then also, as in for the space, I was able to thrift 80% of the stuff that you see in here. So I just hand collected everything, painted it. Yeah, I wanted to like do sustainability, and like nowadays there's a lot of fast, you know, and like things are made cheaply, but I wanted like that old school, just classic coffee house feel instead of like that modern look. I wanted to be cozy and homey, and I felt like that this furniture fit that feel.
Perfect. And very quickly, I know that the coffee beans are from Honduras. Talk a little bit about that trip really quickly.
Yeah, so in 2019, I went to Honduras to learn about coffee. And while I was there, I was on a farm by Katia Duke. So in Honduras, it's really rare to have a female farmer, but she actually has specialty coffee in her area, and I'm able to support her by having her beans at my shop. So all of my House Honduras strip, also for retail, is supporting Katia. So my roaster and I have a connection that we can use her beans.
Absolutely amazing. Sophia, thank you so much for having us out. You guys, this place is absolutely amazing. I'm enjoying my smoothie. And again, 2275 Professor Avenue, Jay and Betsy. I'm going to enjoy this, but I'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, that looks great. Key, just so you know, Betsy was saying while you were talking, she would like to volunteer to come down to the coffee house, bring her guitar, and have an open mic night. Sing to the folks that are there. So
I
make
think Sophia would love that. That's the vibe here. I get that vibe wholeheartedly.
That's going to happen.
I am having a heart attack right now, Kira. Please don't say anything about. Thank you. Yes, the Matt on directing with the button.
I don't drink coffee. I would drink coffee for that.
Would you?
I would drink a cup if you promised to go down there, play guitar, and sing a song.
Would you drink a caffeinated coffee?
I'll
or
drink whatever you want me to drink.
Because it'd be amazing to watch you after having a cup of coffee.
No one wants to see me caffeinated. Trust me.
All right, Kira.
Thanks, Key.
Thank you so much.
I love the vibe down there. It looks really cool.
It does. It looks awesome. Well, if you have a new business that you would like us to check out, let us know on the 3 What's New Facebook page.
What would you sing? What song would you sing?
I'd probably like Smelly Cat or something very Friends and Phoebe-ish, because that's probably what it would sound like.
I can't wait. Next, local 4th graders are spreading peace through art. We're going to tell you the story behind these paintings that you're going to see here in just a second. That's next in Show Us Something Good.
Commercial stuff. Hey, L testing 1 2 3 4. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, and thanks for being with us.
Hey, mic check 1 2 3 4. Laura Queso's mic. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, I'm here. Check Brandon's mic from the turntable over here in the studio today.
I am. Hello, Al. Mic check. Sarah's mic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, today's show is Something Good comes from the I Promise School. These fourth graders created sunflowers as symbols of peace for the people of Ukraine, and it was all inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night painting. Love that. Hopefully they can take pictures and send them, overseas, and
I hope
see
so.
that support.
Yeah, I'm sure that would lighten the day of some Ukrainians who probably at this point
need all the light they can
welcome
get.
anything that is a ray of sunshine. That's well done, terrific work. And Don McLean's Starry, Starry Night, one of my favorite songs of all time.
Good to know.
And not many will claim that, but I love that song.
I will not be singing that at the coffee shop.
That'd be a perfect song, a little guitar strumming.
Negative.
All right, we're out of time. Have a great weekend. We're back Monday at 5, and we hope to see you then.
3 News at 6 with Russ and Laura starts now.
Breaking news. Civil trials against Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson won't move forward during the NFL season. Team coverage on what it means and details on new allegations against him. Honoring Officer Francis.
He carried the weight of the badge to the fullest extent.
How friends, family, and colleagues remembered the officer killed during a chase last week as he was laid to rest. Helping the helpless.
Right now, refugees in the stage they're in, there's just a ton of uncertainty. People don't know how long they're going to be here.
Hear from a Northeast Ohio woman who's in Poland with the Red Cross on the widening crisis unfolding there. And path of totality. A solar eclipse is set to take over the skies in 2024, and Ohio will be right in its path.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is 3 News at 6.
He had a willingness to put others' needs before himself. He encouraged others to work harder. He led by example.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Queso. Tonight, remembering Officer Dominic Francis.
The Bluffton police officer was laid to rest today in the city he served and called home. Thousands today from all over the state gathered to pay their respects. Marissa Sines was there.
Carried to his final resting place, honored and saluted by first responders from near and far. Officer Dominic Francis, only 42, a Bluffton police officer killed in the line of duty. Lining the procession route, students who knew him in a community that stands beside him.
He carried the weight of the badge to the fullest extent.
Moments before, a memorial service that packed a full room. First responders of every rank and agency from across the state coming to pay their respects. Final goodbyes made by the Bluffton police chief.
When the alarm sounded, he didn't hesitate.
And colleagues that called him family, recognizing him as a man that could do it all.
Dominic the Peacemaker was an outstanding firefighter and first responder.
He was a father, a friend, a brother, and by multiple people's words, a brother from another mother.
Francis's life was taken last Thursday during a pursuit on I-75 while attempting to deploy stop sticks, his heroism earning him a Medal of Honor and Purple Heart. Students at Bluffton University that saw him just the day before, remembering him and his lighthearted humor.
The fire alarms went off Wednesday night. He came and he was holding the door for us and cracking jokes.
The message from everyone today, his life was taken too soon, but will never be forgotten.
But what it lacks in length, it makes up for in substance. His last act was heroic, but that is not what made him a hero.
Officer Francis was laid to rest at the Clymer Cemetery, which is just a few miles away from where those funeral services happen. Now, lining the streets today are signs like this, honoring his legacy forever. Reporting in Bluffton, Marissa Signs, 3 News.
We want to get to developing news now on Deshaun Watson. 2
of the women who have filed civil lawsuits against the Browns' new quarterback have added negligence claims. And now we're learning no trials will be scheduled in the 22 total civil lawsuits against Watson during the upcoming NFL season.
Let's begin with Nick Camino to kick off our team coverage tonight. Hi, Nick.
Good evening, Laura. Good evening, Russ. Yeah, there are some new developments all over the place when it comes to new Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. And I think this is something that Browns fans are just going to have to get used to because this has been a fluid situation in a lot of different ways. According to court records, none of the 22 civil lawsuits against Deshaun Watson will go to trial during the NFL season. Now, an attorney in the case is reportedly hoping to take at least one of the cases to a judge and jury before the season starts, but both sides have agreed that no trials will be scheduled between August 1st and March 1st of 2023. Now, one of the lead attorneys representing the women said that he hopes to get a trial set for July. If that does not happen, the hope is to have all 22 cases ready for trial in March of 2023. Watson has said he's maintained that he does not plan to settle. We did reach out to the Browns for comment. They have not responded. And again, this is something that we will just have to completely keep our eyes on. We're going to completely keep reporting on because it is so ever changing in a lot of different ways with the legal system and with the NFL, who have already begun their own investigation.
It certainly is changing, Nick. Okay, we'll see you later in sports. Thank you.
And those allegations against Watson continue to evolve as 2 of the women already suing him amended their lawsuits to add additional claims.
Our team coverage continues now with Brandon Simmons, who spoke with legal experts today.
The Browns' new quarterback, Deshaun Watson, was in hot water even before signing his 5-year, $230 million contract here in Cleveland. He's not facing criminal charges. However, civil suits are looming.
Civil and criminal sides are 2 completely separate things.
While those cases may not go to trial until 2023, USA Today Sports is reporting 2 of the 22 women accusing Watson have now amended their lawsuits to add claims of negligence and gross negligence.
So what they're claiming here is he was actually aware of his sexual proclivities, aware that this is something that he might do, and he failed to take steps to notify these women in obtaining these massages.
Legally speaking, adding the claims allows the women to seek more damages for wrongdoing and allows attorneys to seek more evidence ahead of the trial. These new claims come just days after a judge also ordered Watson to disclose any sexual encounters he may have had with 18 other massage therapists who came out in support of him. Legal professor Michael Gableman says the new claims, along with the judge's order, don't help Watson's case, as he'd prefer to stay silent.
This is definitely not a good step for Mr. Watson.